funny. We got one final comic coming to the stage. This comic has been around for a good minute. They were there when we got this shit started, and they've worked their ass off to help build the Huntsville comedy scene, run a bunch of different shows, and is still here with us today. Y'all please give it up for Mr. Matthew Tate!
Thank you, Lowe Mill. How the fuck we doing tonight? Hell yeah, it's good to be here tonight. I almost wasn't here tonight, but the gun jammed. Good to be here though. I'm your token queer comic for the evening. Yeah. I came out of the closet last year at Pride Month, and came out of the closet as non-binary and pansexual. My favorite part of being non-binary and pansexual is explaining to older people what the fuck that means constantly. I was at a bar called the Thirsty Turtle recently, and very sparse seating in there that night, so I just sat down at the only seat available next to an elderly lady, and she just turns to me at one point and says, "What are you?" I was like, a person, I think. I don't know. It seems a weird way to start a conversation. And she went, "No, I mean, you're a little, like, what are you?" I was like, "Oh, that, okay. Well, thank you for asking in the most polite way possible. I am non-binary and pansexual, yeah." And she went, "What is that, like one of them new age faggots?" I was like, "Well, you're not entirely wrong." But I don't know, like, I'm not gonna bother trying to explain non-binary to this lady, so I was just like, we'll go the pansexual angle. So as a pansexual, right, like you know, straight people are typically attracted to somebody of their own sex, their own gender, you know. Gay people typically attracted to somebody of I got that backwards. That's it's all a fucking construct anyway. Now I know that you know what I meant to say. Point being, old Matthew Tate, you know, as a pansexual, not attracted to somebody based off of their sex or gender. No, Matthew Tate attracted to somebody based solely off who they are as a human being. Woo! Thank you. Which means I'm still not that fucking into men, guys, if we're being honest. My name is Matthew Tate, and I only do two things, and that's eat ass and play tennis. And none of y'all look particularly fit or talented, so let's get fucking weird. Any of y'all ever been getting your dick blowed by a native Russian speaker while getting your ass ate by a native German speaker? I like to call that duolingus. It's happened to me recently. I don't know if this has happened to you, but I was going down on a lady, right? And she neglected to mention to me that she was on her cycle. Yeah? Which means now we're in this very awkward moment where I'm just, you know, down here kind of like, how the fuck are we not keeping our balance on this bike? Now I know that's not what that means. But there's oftentimes I don't know what things mean. Like, I was old before I got old, you know, I'm like one of those old souls, as they say, you know, so I learn new things every day. I usually forget them within the week, but, you know, I learn them for a minute. You know, like, for example, I was on my way to a gig in Birmingham recently, and I passed by one of them car towers. You guys seen these? These car vending machines, right? Yeah. It said Carvana at the top. I was like, Carvana? What the fuck is that? Isn't that band that was like really popular for about 2 seconds in the early 90s? You know, I think they had that song Smells Like Fresh Car Scent. I think the lead singer blew a head gasket. time marches on, we all get older. You know, I've been having a hard time reconciling it. You know, like sometimes a thought will just occur to me, and it reminds me of how old I've gotten and how time marches on. And it just kind of shell shocks me for a minute. Like, I was thinking about this today. Did you guys know that if Kurt Cobain were alive today, he'd be 57 years old? Fucking mind-blowing for those of us who are old enough. Mind-blowing. Guys, let's be serious. Come on. Allegedly. No, man, like, he'd be 57 years old today, you know? Granted, he'd have been walking around for the last 30 years missing half of his head, so the quality of life would be really low. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, being an old soul makes dating difficult for me, too, you know? Because, like, I don't know a lot of things, you know? Like, I only recently got a smartphone 2 years ago. Up until that point, old Matthew Tate was rocking a flip phone. There's even a Netflix comedy special by Nate Bargatze where he talks about Matthew Tate having a flip phone. And, you know, so I don't know what emojis are. Can anybody help me? Like, does anybody speak the hieroglyphics? Because, you know who doesn't? Well, Matthew Tate. No, I got on one of those dating apps, and, you know, I matched with a lady, and again, I don't speak the hieroglyphics, so I can't be positive that I'm translating this correctly, but near as I could tell, that lady told me that she wanted me to eat her wet cat until she cried. I was like, oh my god, how do I reverse the swipe? This is not, I hate to be a kink shamer, but I think this is animal abuse and murder. You know? And then the next lady I matched with, she just would not shut the fuck up about eggplant. It was like, eggplant this and eggplant that, and can you bring some of that big juicy eggplant over here? And I was like, ma'am, I don't know if you failed to read my bio, but I'm a stand-up comic, not a farmer. Like, I guess I could stop at Whole Foods on the way. I don't know, folks. Yeah, I don't like new things, and I define new things as anything after, like, the year 2002. Yeah. I don't know when the world started to go to shit, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it was this one day that I had one of these days, you know, where like my debit card expired, and you guys know the drill when this happens, you know? Like, when your debit card expires, you know, you get a new one in the mail, and it's got that sticker on the back, and it says, call this hotline to activate your debit card, and then you call it, and it says, please enter your card number as it appears in the 16 digits on the back of your card, followed by the hashtag sign. I was like, the fucking what? It's probably a little bit too outraged for me to be, but feelings are feelings, and I felt him, you know? I was like, that's not what that's called. It's a pound sign, you know? And hashtags ruin everything, folks. Hashtags really ruin everything. Like, have y'all seen hashtag Me Too? That's some depressing shit that we have to live with every day, but I wish somebody would pound Me Too. Thank you. I know this set has been front-loaded with a lot of vitriol, but I'm not a hateful person. I'm really not, you know, like, although I will say, sometimes things that happen that will derail my day, that kind of gives me a little bit of hate vibes, you know, like I've had a rough day today, you know. Y'all ever have one of those days where you just get a song stuck in your head, you know? And you just can't get it out no matter what you do. And it's never anything good, right? It's always something like, private eyes are watching you.
See ya.
I fucking hate Hall & Oates, man. I know that's super brave and relevant to say in 2024. But I have to hear that song like 3 fucking times a day at my day job because comedy hasn't panned out. And, Like, I fucking hate Hall & Oates, but I'm not generally a hateful person. You know, like, what's that old adage that people say when they really hate somebody? Like, I hate that motherfucker so much I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. You know who doesn't hate anybody that much? Matthew Tate. No. I can guarantee you right now, if somebody were to just spontaneously light on fire in here, I would pee on you. Matter of fact, if somebody ignites into flames in here tonight, I'm peeing on everybody just to make sure we're all safe. Not a hateful person, you know. I'm a very loving person. One might say that I have a love that burns. You guys are a step ahead of me. Yeah. Yeah, I have a love that burns, you know, like for 3 to 5 days sometimes, and then it disappears out of my life for like 2 years, just like all of my fucking love interests. You guys are picking up what I put down. We're talking about herpes. Hey, where are my herpes people at? Make some noise if you got herpes!
Yay, yay!
That's inaccurate. I mean, that guy has herpes, but the level of noise that the rest of the crowd made is vastly inaccurate. Let me tell you how I know. So it was a few years ago, I got the old diagnosis, and immediately I felt really wrecked, because, you know, there's a huge stigma against herpes in this country for whatever reason. So I'm on my way back home from the doc, and my first thought is just like, man, this is like life-ending news. Like, I thought about killing myself, actually, like, straight up. I tried. The gun jammed, remember? But I was like, oh my God, how am I ever gonna date again? This is a disaster. And then I calmed myself the fuck down and reminded myself, like, how fucking fun or easy was dating in the first place? You know, like, at least now I have a conversation starter. You know, like, oh, what's that? You got diddled by your grandpa? Oh. I've got herpes. Not to play one-upsmanship, but we all got diddled by our grandpas, right? What, y'all weren't popular kids? No, man. But yeah, man, like, you know, and here's the thing, like, honestly, y'all can just come on in. The water's warm, you know? Like, I read this, the thing that really reset my brain on the whole conundrum was I read this study. It was a World Health Organization report, actually, that came out in 2012. So that's 12 years ago, so you bet your ass the numbers are higher now. But as of 2012, this study said approximately 67% of active adults in the U.S., that's 2/3 for a lot of my fan base, by the way. 2/3 of American adults have herpes whether they know it or not, you know? So if you didn't make noise when I asked who in here has herpes, I want you to do me a quick favor. Look to your left, look to your right, and then realize both those motherfuckers have herpes! And we could all have it tonight if we play our cards right. And then, you know what the wonderful thing is about that? You don't have to worry about getting herpes anymore. So while I'm saying, folks, that $15 you paid at the door, you didn't know what you were getting into. After the show tonight here at Epic Comedy Hour, Fuckfest 2024, we're gonna make it a super spreader event. It's gonna be like a Trump rally, but sexy. Super spreader event. Super spreading them cheeks. You know what I'm talking about? Waka waka waka. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, like, and here's the thing, like, I really feel like I deserve a gold medal for, like, avoiding herpes for as long as I did, because I didn't get that diagnosis until I had my first outbreak at the age of 32. I'm 37 now, for reference. And, you know what, like, I really avoided it for the longest time, but, you know, if you gamble long enough, the house always wins. That's what I've learned. And I'm basically basically like if avocados were a person, you know? Because like between the years of 2008 and 2018, I came in everything. So I guess what I'm getting at, as Justin Ludlow, our host tonight, mentioned earlier, condoms hurt. So this is a PSA tonight. Motherfuckers, just stop using condoms. Let's all be one fucking community, you know? With all the hiccups, all the bumps in the road that it affords, you know? And also, let's face it, condoms, real fucking bad for the environment. They're not biodegradable. Safe sex. Safe for who? Not the environment. I'll tell you who. Now, sometimes when I tell people that, they're like, Matthew, don't you know that actually the most harmful thing for the environment would be if we made more of us? To which I like to reply, I don't know if that factually checks out, you know, because frankly, the last time I checked, condoms, not biodegradable. Babies?
Biodegradable.
Extremely biodegradable. Just ask Casey Anthony, you know? Casey Anthony used to be a MILF. Where were we, folks? Where were we? Did you know, so, fun fact, Alzheimer's disease was named after Dr. Alois Alzheimer, a German man, because as it turns out, there's a lot of shit that the Germans also like to conveniently forget about. We have porn crowd in here tonight? We have porn crowd? We a little bit raunchy? We a little bit dirty? All right. I used to be a porn crowd. You know, the problem is I've been finding lately, so I've been running out of videos. Did you know that can happen? Which is why I've taken to, you know, like, spread my wings a little bit. I have a new hobby, which is called going to exclusively to the sites that have a play random video button. That shit was my jam for like a minute. But then, so as a sidebar, do y'all find like British accents sexy? Like a good English accent?
You use volume.
Huh?
You use volume.
Do I use volume?
Yeah, definitely.
Like the British person would be sexier if they were muted? Do you want me to send some videos to you?
Yes!
They're hot.
You know what? Every day you learn something new. I will forget that within the weekend. Okay, so a couple of people find British accents hot. I thought it was more. You know, British accents can be kind of hot up until the point where you realize that there's such a thing as hillbillies in England, and you've heard a Cockney accent. Yeah, it's nothing like clicking that random play video button and all of a sudden a video pops up with a lady just getting it, and she's just going, "Oi, what's this then, governor? You got me eyes all soft and moist, do you? Yeah, who next fucking me bloody cunt, governor?" And then you have to go do the sprint to the bathroom, not for the usual reason, but to fucking vomit, which reminds you of German porn in turn, which is even fucking worse. And then, because you have a problem, you do come back to the room, and what do? You hit that random video button once again. And this time it's even worse because it's three dwarves dressed up as the Rice Krispies mascots just going to town on the lady, talking about, "We're going to make that pussy snap, crackle, and pop!" I think I'm done with porn, guys. I've seen it all. I came, I saw, I conquered, I came again. I'm done. I was wondering what I would end off on tonight with you folks, and initially it was going to be a time traveling joke, but you didn't like it. So instead what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you folks, I can't shop at Walmart anymore. It's not on account of all the shoplifting I've done over the years. It's because every time I go in there and I see that sign that says self-checkout, I just can't help but remember all those poor souls diving out of the windows at 9/11. Somebody asked me to do a 9/11 joke earlier in the set, and there you go. Look what you've done. Alright folks, if you liked any of this, I have some merch for sale in the back. Please also just come out and pick up a free card, pick up a free sticker, and if you want anything else, you could support my living habit. In the meanwhile, you guys have been absolutely lovely. Give it up for yourselves, and give it up for your host, Justin Ludlow.